The following program is brought to you by PodcastOne Sportsnet.
This episode of Steve Austin Show is sponsored in part by DDP Yoga. Hey man, ain't nobody knows more firsthand than Diamond Dallas Page about getting your damn body all beat to shreds from bumps and bruises. Hey man, you might not be in a square circle, but life, whatever you do, will throw all the bumps and bruises your way too. So, pay attention and listen to me. Diamond Dallas Page invented DDP Yoga Fitness System to specifically burn fat, reduce pain, and heal from the injuries, whether you suffered them in a squared circle or just in life in general from working your ass off. DDPY is a kick-ass cardio workout. It will dramatically increase your flexibility. It will strengthen your core like never before, all with minimal joint impact. All you got to do is download the DDP Yoga Now app to have with you on the go. The DDP Yoga Now app has everything. It's going to track your weight, all your workouts, how many calories you burn, and Dallas himself sets you up for weekly success by giving you an easy schedule to follow that includes his tips for success. Guy knows what he's talking about. He's changed thousands of lives. If you're more old school and you prefer DVDs of the DDPY app, they have the DVDs. But when you buy the DVDs, you still receive 3 months free of the DDPY app to try it out. Bring yourself up to some new technology. And just for listeners of the Steve Austin Show, you can save 20% off an annual membership for the DDP Yoga Now app of any DVD pack. Just go to ddpyoga.com/Austin to get started. Folks, what are you standing around with your hands in your pockets waiting for? Stop wasting time and download the DDP Yoga Now app and make this year the year you get serious about your health and get fit. Let DDP Yoga Now help you set your goals, take control, and own your life.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today, sitting over here at 317 Gimmick Street. And as I record this podcast today, it's Valentine's Day, February 14th. So, happy belated Valentine's Day to all you lovebirds out there, sending you cards, your letters, go get you some red roses, flowers, chocolate candies in a heart-shaped box, all that stuff. Yep, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you had a good one. Maybe some of you got laid. Hey, anyway, I didn't bring up Valentine's Day just out of the random, but I tell you happy Valentine's Day because, shit, it's over here at 317 Gimmick Street. Valentine's Day. Ain't really like it's a major holiday. I brought it up, though, because thinking about Valentine's Day, I thought for today's podcast, I'd go back down memory lane and talk about one of my favorite matches I had with Vince McMahon. And it happened on Valentine's Day, February 14, 1999 in Memphis, Tennessee. It was the main event of the pay-per-view St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon. Or rather, the character, Mr. McMahon. I had a good time in this match. I'm going to go take you through this match. There'll be a couple of times I'm going to play the volume on my little gimmick speaker I got set up on this table here. Ain't no technology behind this podcast. It's me, a microphone, and a little gimmick speaker. So hopefully you'll be able to hear all the sounds that come out of it. And I'll set the table for you. I'll turn the speakers up with Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, who do an outstanding job of calling this match and throwing down the heavy-duty ramifications of this angle. And, Vince McMahon's hate for me and my, in turn, hate for Vince McMahon do an outstanding job. So I'll go back and forth between the speaker and turn the volume up as they commentate. Then I'll jump in there and I'll talk about what's going on within the confines of that cage and through the confines of that arena, as most of it is a brawl outside of that cage. And then we get in there and we settle a score. This is a great match. I'm not going to sit here and call one of my matches a great match. It was an interesting match, let's say that, between two characters, two guys, two personas that were really over at the time. It was a built angle, and we were doing business at a very high level. I loved my feud with Vince McMahon. He's one of my favorite guys to work with just because of his commitment and his intensity level, and just like many other top guys that I've worked with. But for some reason, that Stone Cold Vince McMahon thing was kind of next level stuff. It was just great being in the ring with him. And anybody that's done business with him will tell you the same thing. That's just the way he is. He has the ability to just go full bore to make an angle be the best that it can be. And in all the matches that we had, or all of our dealings that we had with each other, it was damn near a straight up shoot. It was a work, but we played the parts, man, and it was real to us, as real as it can be in that world, and I think that's why it was so successful. I got to say, it's been a long time, but to anybody that was there, thank you to that crowd that gave us the response that we got. They were involved in that match, hook, line, and sinker from the get-go. The way Vince told that story, and I'll just go ahead and lay off of that right now because I talk about it once the podcast gets going. It was just it was a good time, and we were clicking on all cylinders. Hot arena. Memphis, Tennessee was kind of a homecoming of sorts for me because, when I started in Dallas 2 months later, they shipped me off to Nashville, and Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis was my first shot to make for the USWA on the road. Nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, and that's where legendary Dutch Mantell gave me the name Steve Austin, and then later Stunning Steve Austin. And here we go back to Memphis all these years later in '99. And I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin, a version of that name that Dutch Mantell gave me, who was a stronghold in the USWA territory and over in Puerto Rico. Everywhere he's just been a great mind and a great talent inside the ring. But to go in there to the Pyramid Arena, have a crowd of about 19,000 strong, totally involved and engrossed in riding along everything we do within the story of that match, was just an outstanding feeling. Anytime you do business, you want to do business at the highest level. You want to make as much money as you possibly can and put on a great product, a great show for the people to watch and believe in. And, man, I tell you what, working out there with Vince is a great experience. Just total consummate pro that will do anything to get a match or an angle over. One of my favorite guys to ever work with. And I tell you what, Vince is hard on himself, as far as the activities that he does in the ring or his ring work. I don't think he ever gave himself credit. But he was awesome to work with, and the character of Mr. McMahon was one of the greatest and most complex, evil, conniving, intelligent, well thought out, well played, damn near shoot that's ever been in the history of the wrestling business. And got a lot of respect for the guy. And I tell you what, I'll talk more about it once the podcast gets moving, but you talk about a hell of a bump that he takes off the side of that damn steel cage into that table. And I'll tell you why and how that bump could have been better in the podcast, or been a little bit easier on him. Let me put it that way. That was a tough landing anyway you slice it. But just a great day at the office, and I figured, you know what? I've got some cool guests coming up later on this week, and I'll talk about them at the back end of the podcast. But this is a podcast where, like I said, I'm laying down a soundtrack, telling you what's going through my mind, what's going on in the ring. I'll turn the volume up on the speakers so you can hear the announcers do their thing. Once again, a shout-out to the one and only Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole. I thought this was one of the best matches they ever called, and they called a lot of good ones. I always like when my old buddy JR's out there. But, man, the King and Michael Cole crushed this with the way they set up, how heavy-duty the angle was, the hate between Vince McMahon towards Stone Cold and vice versa towards Mr. McMahon, and the stakes that were, if I wanted a shot at that title, I put my title on the line, to get a shot at the title. Vince McMahon had eliminated me from the Royal Rumble the previous month, whenever it was, and he forfeited his spot. So we did a little skit over at Shawn Michaels' house. And if you watch, and you're going to listen to the video package as I set this up, and I let the angle kind of play through the speakers, if you get a chance to watch this wrestling match on the WWE Network, I give you a time code, and we stick with real time all the way through as I talk you through this thing, and I'll turn the speakers up, and then I'll start commentating over the speakers and turn them back down. But you can go on a ride with me, and if you're driving to work, it doesn't matter. You ain't got to see the match. I can just tell you what was going on, and you can listen to the action. But I included this package on there, the video package that they play for all the big main events, or all the matches really, but more so on the main events. Just kind of set the tone and the vibe that was going on right back then in 1999, man, because things were hot and heavy. The business was on fire. And, again, this was a built match with a built angle, so everybody was involved. It was just a good time, man. So that's what I got for you today, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you did, send me an email to questions@steveaustonshow.com. If you want me to cover a certain subject, give me a comment or an email on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR, and let me know. Before I get to podcast, man, I was just looking out my window here at 317 Gimmick Street. Man, I've been seeing these damn things go by, and it seems like they're out of control. I call them the scooter on a stick. Now, I don't know what in the flying hell is up with these things, but, I mean, it's like a scooter with a stick. Like back in the day, in my day, you had to pedal a son of a bitch. You know, I never had one, but you got a handlebar. It's hooked to a rod that goes down to what's basically a skateboard. That's why I call it a scooter on a stick. And with one leg on the scooter, you just propelled yourself using your other leg. Well, it ain't like that anymore. They got these electric scooters on a stick. And the thing that chaps my ass is they got all these kids riding these sumbitches all over Los Angeles, probably all over the world, but I'm over here in Los Angeles, and I ain't seen one little kid or one teenager or one adult, for that matter, that's been wearing a helmet. And these sumbitches run up down my sidewalk. I'm sitting here on this gimmick page on a computer. Hell, these things go 16 miles an hour. 16 miles an hour is hauling ass when you got your foot on a stick and it's electric powered. A lot of room for disaster there. There was just a report in this local newspaper of the neighborhood that I live in. A lady was going down a busy street, and some lady, was a teenager, it was an adult, riding one of those electric scooters on a stick, and she was riding right down the middle of the road without a helmet on. You don't need a license to drive these things. You don't have to have insurance to drive these things, but you should, and here's why. Everybody kept going around this chick. Everybody kept going around this chick because she's going 16 miles an hour. That's too slow. She needs to be on the side of the road over in the bike path. Car's trying to go 30, 35 miles an hour. So finally, there's a red light. Car ahead of her stops at the red light. This chick on the scooter on a stick runs right into the back side of the car, flips on top of the lady's trunk. She's laying there. Well, the lady driving the car is freaked out. She's wondering if the chick's okay. It turns out, the lady says, "Hey, are you okay? Do you want me to call the police?" She goes, No, don't worry, don't call the police. And she gets on her scooter on a stick and takes off. Well, meanwhile, the lady's got a couple of scratches on her car. Well, the lady on the stick just got on the damn scooter on a stick and hauled ass. Anyway, my point is, man, these things look really neat. I wouldn't mind having one. But god dang, if you're going to ride these sumbitches on the damn street, you ought to wear a helmet. You ought to keep off the goddamn middle of the damn road and stay on the side of the road. And I really think you ought to have insurance to drive these things. Because here in Los Angeles, I guess you can just rent them on a daily basis or an hourly basis for X amount of dollars. I don't know. But the sumbitches are everywhere. It's like an invasion. It's probably one of the coolest inventions I've ever seen. But there's got to be a little bit more responsibility to these things, man. I mean, come on. The lady got jacked up. She got rear-ended by one of them. Yeah, she didn't get hurt. She was concerned about the girl on the stick. But the girl on the stick caused her car damage. Here's another example. If I walk straight out of my gate and I got my two dogs and they charge out there and one of them damn idiot kids is hauling ass 16 miles an hour down my sidewalk and runs over one of my dogs, I'm going to be a hot sumbitch. So, hell, string up a little clothesline out there. Knock him sumbitches off him scooters on a stick, slow them down. And if you're a parent, you got to be a little bit more responsible than that, man. Make your kids wear a damn helmet and then keep them off the sidewalks, man. Just keep them over in a cul-de-sac or something. Anyway, and I'll stop ranting and raving, man. It's bullshit. But god dang it, those things look fun as hell. But right now, they're kind of pissing me off. Anyway, let's get into the match. Right before I get into the match, got to take care of a little business. Before we get to St. Valentine's Day Massacre, guys, listen up. If you're out there trying to land that special lady, you've got to look your best. Hims knows all about this, and they're here to help. Bottom line is, men want to keep their hair and take care of themselves. Now, hassle-free prevention and solutions now exist with Hims. Hims is a wellness brand for the modern man, a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness, making men's personal care trusted, easy, and affordable. Hims offers FDA-approved medical-grade products, personalized recommendations, plus convenient, confidential online consultation with a licensed doctor. Ain't no pharmacy lines, ain't no waiting room. The products are shipped directly to your door. And Hims passes big savings along to you, offering prescription and generic for just a fraction of the price. Sound treatment and prevention backed by medicine and science. Look better, feel better, do better with Hims. For listeners of the Steve Austin Show, get a trial month of everything you need to keep your hair for just $5 while supplies last. This would cost you hundreds of dollars if you went to a doctor's office or a pharmacy. So what are you waiting for? Save some damn money and save your damn hair. Just go to forhims.com/unleashed for all the details. That's FORHIMS.com/unleashed. And stomp a mud hole in the hair loss and walk it dry. One more time. That's forhims.com/unleashed to get yourself a trial month for just $5.
Hey, it's Rob Riggle.
And Sarah Tiana.
And you are listening to Wriggle's Pick.
Yeah, and a ham horn. And we have a new podcast available on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne.com, and the PodcastOne app. If you love the show, share it with a friend and leave us a rating and review.
Every Thursday, we're going to sit around and we're going to talk about the things that really excite us, like life, comedy, sports, a lot of sports.
Ourselves.
A lot of Sarah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you join us.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
All right, everybody, here we go with the Steve Austin Show. I'm going to take a swing at this. I just hit the record button. I ain't going to hit the pause button until I get finished. So if I screw up, so be it. That's just the way it is. Like I said in the open of the show, I'm sitting at 317 Gimmick Street. I got my table up. I got my laptop computer on. Vincent Kennedy McMahon is on my computer screen. I've got him frozen because I have the pause button pushed. I'm about to hit the play button and play some of the voiceover work, some of the promos that were cut, the build-up by Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole, who did an outstanding job of setting this match up, calling the action in the ring. Those two were on fire. I always miss my good friend Jim Ross on commentary, but I got to give a shout-out to Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole for setting all the angles up, putting everything in place, and building all this. So this is a built match. The feud was hot. I'd put my title on the line for a shot to get back in WrestleMania, I believe, because I'd gotten thrown over the top rope at the Royal Rumble by Vince McMahon with interference by The Rock. So there was a video here right after I take a trip to Shawn Michaels' house where he was acting as a commissioner, and I checked myself back into the storyline. I challenged Vince to a match, put my belt on the line. If he could beat me in the cage, well, then I wouldn't go to WrestleMania and I would lose my belt. This was the introduction of Paul White into the WWF at the time. And we'll let this all unfold. But as I'm looking at this picture here of Vince McMahon on my screen, with respect to The Rock and Bret the Hitman Hart and all the other great talents that I've worked with, Vince McMahon is just one of my favorite opponents because his intensity was as great as mine was. And God dang, he's just the ultimate heel. He's the ultimate guy to feed back and forth of. I guarantee you can talk to anybody that's ever feuded with him or done business with him. Everybody works for him, but when you do business directly with him, it's just kind of next level stuff. His instincts, his reactions, his facials, his master plan, all the gears are turning. Me and Vince had the kind of chemistry that you dream of for a feud. And so all of the pieces were in place. He's super over. I'm super over. The crowd, the fans are super invested. And it was just a great night at the office. I'm going to play you the video packages leading up to the match. You'll hear my glass break. And when you hear the glass break, it's a delayed pop. It's a pop that kind of builds because they just finished constructing the cage, the steel cage. All of a sudden, out of Jump Street, out of nowhere, my music hits. The people come up for me. I'm walking to the ring. And that's when I'll kind of turn down the sound and take you through what's going on in this match. This is a match that I enjoyed a hell of a lot of. I think in a personal part of my life, I wasn't going through a great time. And you'll see Vince make a call or two. Other times, it's me making calls to him. We had to help each other stay on track throughout this endeavor. And it wasn't a cage match with two great all-around athletes. It was a cage match with a guy like me in two leg braces who isn't the quickest cat in the world, and Vince McMahon, who's not the most coordinated individual in the world, but two attractions that the people wanted to see do battle. The reason I say that is not poke fun at Vince or to not poke fun at myself, but with respect to all the great athletic ability that's going on in the ring these days. It's not always about your movements and your high spots and the Hurricane Ranas and the this and that's. It's all about characters, and we had spent a lot of time, developing the Stone Cold character, the Mr. McMahon character, spent a lot of time and a lot of, promo work and the actions and the things that he was throwing down to build up a head of steam in the form of heat for him. And, as far as the Stone Cold character goes, I was on fire at the time. It was a really great crowd there in Memphis that night. I remember Memphis vividly because, that's right when I broke into the business of professional wrestling. I was working at the Sportatorium for about 2 months, and I asked Jerry Jarrett when I could start working full-time, and he said, "Hey, I think you're ready now," and they sent me down to Memphis, Tennessee, and back in the day, the building was the Mid-South Coliseum, a very, very famous building that Jerry Lawler drew a lot of money in, along with a few other guys in that territory. So Memphis was kind of a stronghold for me. The people really took to me there. I've always said Chicago and other cities like that were a stronghold for me as well. But, man, this Memphis crowd here in the Pyramid, a built crowd, a built angle, and we were ready to put on a show. And Vince plays cat and mouse at the beginning of this thing. Let's just go ahead and get that out. He doesn't want to get in the cage. He's stalling. I fake an injury. And then here comes Vince. We clothesline him. We start the match. Well, the bell hadn't rang yet, and I'll cover that in the promo during the match. Officially, it hasn't really started. So when I first started looking at this match, because I'd been thinking about doing this for a podcast on Valentine's Day, or at least in the week of Valentine's Day, I was like, well, Jesus Christ, the match only lasts 8 minutes. But when I went back and rewatched it, well, obviously, the match with all the shenanigans, the packages, the build-ups, them putting the cage together, the stalling inside and out, the brawling that we do, Vince McMahon's incredible bump off the top of that cage through the announce table, which I'll cover in depth and detail about how he landed and how he could have landed better. Well, it lasted quite some time, so I'm making a podcast out of it. All right, let's take a quick pause for the calls and give big ups to True Car. Here's some useful car tips you're probably aware of because I've been talking about them for a couple of weeks. A coffee filter and a little bit of olive oil can clean your interior. Removing excess weight from your car will improve gas mileage. Placing your key fob to your chin will increase its range. Yep, it will. Now, if you're ready for one more tip you might not know about, it's that True Car also helps people get used cars. That's right. True Car ain't just for buying new cars. With their certified dealer network and nationwide inventory of nearly 1 million used cars, you'll enjoy real pricing on actual inventory and a simpler buying experience, whether you buy new or used. And with TrueCar, users can see what others paid so they know if they're getting a good deal before buying. They're also more likely to enjoy a faster buying experience by connecting with TrueCar certified dealers. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, check out TrueCar and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states. You're also going to need car insurance for that new vehicle. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. That's right. Save hundreds of dollars on car insurance at geico.com. Extra money in your pocket? It may just be the most rewarding thing you do today.
Hey y'all, this is Matt
and Michelle from Thug Kitchen, here to tell you about our new show, Forked Up, a Thug Kitchen podcast exclusively on PodcastOne.
We're stepping out of the kitchen and into your earbuds every week to discuss food, politics, pop culture. Basically, we're just trying to give a f***ing do better.
Get your shit together with us every Thursday on Forked Up, a Thug Kitchen podcast, right here on PodcastOne.
Download and listen to new episodes exclusively on PodcastOne.com, the new Podcast One app, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, before we get back to me breaking down St. Valentine's Day Massacre with Vince McMahon, let me give a quick shout out to DDP Yoga. DDP Yoga is a kick-ass cardio workout that will dramatically increase your flexibility and strengthen your core, all with minimal joint impact. Sign up for the DDPY app or go to ddpyoga.com for 20% off all DVDs and DDPY swag.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
Without any further ado, I'm going to play you guys the video package. So if you want to go back, you got to watch this thing. Right now, as I hit the play button, I am at time code 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 49 seconds of the pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Now, the WWE and the network say you're not supposed to replay or, rebroadcast on any type of programming or whatever. So if they sue me, they do. This is me putting over the WWE Network, which you can enjoy for $9.99 a month, which I do. So you got to go check this match out. It's an awesome match. I think they got a free trial month to check out the network. You get all the pay-per-views for free, so it's a great value. I have the network, as a matter of fact. So anyway, without any further bullshit, let's roll sound. Here's the thing. I'm over here at 317 Gimmick Street. I got about a 3-inch by 6-inch square speaker sitting in front of me. It's not a monitor quality speaker. It's just a little gimmick speaker that I listen to while I'm working out. I'm holding my microphone up to this little speaker, so bear with me. Listen to the excitement of the crowd. Listen to the promos cut by myself and Vince. I mean, there is absolutely no love lost between these two characters. Now, in the back, we were planning and we were scheming and we were plotting and we were having a damn good time. And we would play each week as it goes, looking into the future, feeling off of what that crowd was feeding us, what we were feeding them, what they were giving us back, and planning accordingly. Again, Vince McMahon is one of my favorite opponents to work with. I'll call some stuff while this match is going on and just point it out to you, but he's just a tremendous opponent, and I had a blast working with him. Let's roll sound, and I'll come back in and give you guys some 411 about what's going on in this match. Here we go.
I will put up my right for the WWF title at WrestleMania if you will face me in a match. You and me in a cage. In a cage match. You're on, you got your match.
This is more important than the WWF Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mr. McMahon going one-on-one.
I can guarantee you, number one, that I will beat your ass up and down every side of that damn cage.
I'm going to guarantee you not one corporate member will ever interfere. I guarantee you, Austin.
I can guarantee you I will step right over your limp carcass and walk my ass right into WrestleMania.
After the cage match is over, the World Wrestling Federation for you will never, ever be the same again.
There will be blood shed, and it ain't gonna be mine.
Mr. McMahon, play the public trap for Austin. Austin, you're going to face each and every member of the corporation.
Austin's got to run the gauntlet, and he ain't gonna make it. It only ends when he can defeat one member of the corporation by pinfall or submission. Austin! It's Kane now! Austin, counter! It's over! It's over! Trying to take it on Stone Cold! And it's Boss Man now, hammering away on Austin! Mr. McMahon tossed a nice stick into the ring. I didn't see that. What in the world is Mr. McMahon doing? He wants to opponent to the ground! This match by pinfall over Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mr. McMahon! Mr. McMahon! Steve Austin!
The World Wrestling Federation for you will never, ever be the same again.
You will know that Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
I think Mr. McMahon has gone too far. Too far. He's violated Steve Austin here.
But King, earlier tonight on Sunday Night Heat, Mr. McMahon raised the ante even more as you see them constructing the steel cage. Mr. McMahon called out Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold came out and Mr. McMahon spat in Stone Cold Steve Austin's face, the ultimate humiliation.
Spit on him, let's face it, okay? Mr. McMahon is driven by pure hatred. If hate
was written on every grain of sand in the Sahara Desert, that wouldn't equal the hatred that Mr. McMahon has for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he's not going to be content until Austin is finished and out of the World Wrestling Federation.
King, let's not forget about the guarantees now. Mr. McMahon is guaranteed, as you see the Western Union airship there, Mr. McMahon's guaranteed two things. Number one, no corporate member will interfere or they will be fired on the spot. Right. Number two guarantee, he said that the WWF will never ever be the same for Stone Cold Steve Austin after this cage match.
And you can take a boat to the bank. He don't lie.
And don't forget the guarantees from Stone Cold.
Oh.
He guaranteed he will beat Mr. McMahon from pillar to post. He guaranteed that he's going to WrestleMania over Mr. McMahon's carcass. And he guaranteed there will be bloodshed tonight. And it will not be Stone Cold's.
Right. I remember what he said. He said he was going to wash McMahon's spit off of his face with Mr. McMahon's blood. That's it.
Now, King, I'll tell you what. Mr. McMahon, this insane hatred for Austin. He's tried to provoke Austin in recent weeks. The trip to Texas. The beer in his face last night on Raw Saturday night, and tonight the spit.
What do you mean, insane hatred?
He has insane hatred for Stone Cold.
And it's deserved hatred.
So it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mr. McMahon, inside that ominous structure, the steel cage. It's pretty simple. If Mr. McMahon gets out of the cage either through the door or over the top, he will prevent Stone Cold from going to WrestleMania.
That's all he's worried about.
Let me crank his volume down. Yeah, come in here. Got the BMF walk in full force here. Climbing up his first turnbuckle. I'm using that steel cage as a prop. I can get a couple extra feet higher, so I take advantage of the things that are there at my disposal. Anytime you got a toy, you use it. Getting an amazing response from this crowd, man. I tell you what, when you get a response from that crowd, that really affects the match. It really affects you and your performance. And you want them people all on board or all off board, you know, whether they're all in or, you know, as far as they love you or they hate you. That's what you're looking for. There ain't no in between. Got about 19,000 people here. That's a great night at the office. I always loved hearing Howard Finkel's voice. This is with all due respect to Lillian Garcia and all the other announcers. But when I first came to the WWF back in the day, man, when I walked down and Howard Finkel introduced me, I knew that I had made it. And so it was great to hear that booming voice that he had announcing me going through this crowd here at the Pyramid. Here we go. Here comes Vince.
Wrestling Federation, Mr.
Trip to WrestleMania 15 at the First Union Center in Philadelphia is on the line. Stone Cold Steve Austin wins.
All right, now I got to win this match to get to WrestleMania 15, and this is going to be the first of a trilogy. This is going to be the first time, if I win, which we know that I did, this will be my first time to headline a WrestleMania with The Rock. And we would go on to headline WrestleMania 17 and WrestleMania 19. We're the only two guys to ever headline 3 WrestleManias. And for that is something I'm very proud of in my career. And, of course, everybody knows of my love for working with The Rock and our chemistry together. Okay, let's go in here to the ring, man. We got action. I got Callie over here trying to get in my lap. Vince McMahon has just climbed outside the cage. I'm inside the cage. Vince is climbing down. I'm at 2:27:03 in the match. I'm trying to give you guys some time codes. So basically, Vince is playing the chicken shit heel. He walks down like a badass, but now he doesn't want to really get inside the ring because his opponent is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, he hates my guts, but he's always used to dealing with me when he has an upper hand or strength in numbers. On a one-on-one type setting, he's not so brave. He's got this look of hesitation on his face, and now he's like, what the F? He's stalling. He's buying time. I got that sarcastic look on my face. Vince is all jacked up, got a black tank top on, got his black Levi's jeans on, the elbow pads. He's got everything at his disposal. All right, I'm crouched down. I'm ready for him to make an entrance into the ring. He's coming up the steps. He's coming up the steps. He's about to climb inside the cage. And here he comes, not so fast. He jumps down and slams the cage door closed. He's going to buy more time. Here's the thing. As he's walking around, he's got this cocky look on his face. He's got his lats flared out. This is buying time. This is Gaga. Sometimes you can kill a crowd with this if you don't, if you play it too long, but we don't. We're off, running around. Stone Cold has gotten out of the cage, and I'm chasing his ass down. Vince runs into the safety of the cage, and he's trying to kick me. He won't allow me to come up the steps, the steel steps, to get inside the cage. The sorry son of a bitch. Mike Chioda, the referee. I can't believe it. I'm looking at the crowd. You got to bring the crowd in certain situations. I'm bringing the crowd in. I like, God dang, you son of a bitch, you're not going to let me in. I go around to the side of the cage. I'm going to climb up to the top. No. Vince beats me up to the top of the cage. He's on the inside. I'm on the out. Now he's trying to stomp on my head. He'll actually connect. We're going sideways now, like a couple of spiders here we go, hanging from that cage. He's way up top. I'm down below. He's on the inside. I'm on the outside. Now he's going to try to kick me with that black boot. Now, okay, I'm going down like two spiders playing. Oh, man, I just came down from the cage, tried to make a landing, and seemingly I blew out my left knee. And correct, I'm only wearing one knee brace at this point in my career. The right knee hasn't gone yet. Got a blown PCL in that knee over talking to Chioda right in front of the announce table. Okay, Vince, okay, since he's hurt, I'll go kick his ass. Turns out I'm just playing possum. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Fixing to spring up and clothesline the living the hell out of Vince McMahon. Bam! And now we're off and running now. Crowd comes up. Let me hit the volume here. Vince goes over. Here's the thing about working with Vince. Let me take the volume down a little bit. Working with Vince, I just hit him in the head with the fan there on the announce table. He used to get hot in those arenas when that crowd gets in there and all those people in there. Okay, bam, I throw Vince into the cage. Vince, you got to go with a person when they throw you. Okay, I'm choking him with an extension cord here, a power cord. You can't do that anymore, but you could back then. I'm on top of him. I'm choking him with that power cord. When you're throwing someone into any kind of object, you got to wait for them to come with you. So his timing, okay, I'm trying to get him into this desk. He kind of overdoes it, overshoots the desk. And he's not the most coordinated guy in the world, but God dang, he's out there and he's trying. He's not supposed to be a super athlete, and he's not. Just give him a big right hand there. He's heading over the guardrail here pretty quick. I'll flip him out over. There he goes. Chioda's trying to get us back into the ring, but he can't get us back in the ring yet. I always love, okay, now I'm stomping his ass. He's on the outside of the barricade, and I'm stomping his head, stomping his shoulders. Hey, man, here's the thing when you work out in the crowd, and we're about to brawl out in the crowd here in a minute. Okay, I just got a water bottle. Just spraying water all over him. Give him a big right hand, fix to pull it back over. As we're getting ready to bring him back in, getting ready to brawl out in the crowd, I always like brawling in the crowd, man. You got to be careful, depending on how much heat you got, whether you get stabbed or cut or hit or whatever. I'm dragging Vince. Come on, Vince. Get your ass up, Vince. Come on. Taking him around. Throwing him into the steel steps there. A nice bump by Vince. Hey, man, people always ask, do those steel steps hurt? You damn right they do, depending on how you hit them. I'm just working the crowd a little bit, just kind of, I'm beating his ass just like I thought I would. Okay, Vince rakes my eyes. Now here, watch him sling me into the cage here. He slung me so hard into the cage, I wasn't ready to take that bump, so my feet whip out underneath the apron, and it caught me off guard. So I was like, God damn it, son, man, give me a little help. You got to wait for me to catch up like I was just telling you earlier. So right now the camera doesn't show it, but Vince gives me a double bird. Okay, now that's something you don't do to Stone Cold Steve Austin. So here we go. I'm chasing his ass into the crowd. We're walking up. Here we go. I always like fighting into the crowd. you don't get a chance to do it too many times, but when you do, you got to lay your shit in because, hey, man, you got to make everything you do look good. And so everything over there is double snug. Look at the excitement of that crowd. This is the kind of stuff that you live for when you're trying to go out there and put on a good match and you're telling the story. And, dude, you got to understand, we're fighting for the right to go to WrestleMania. Everything is on the line here because I was out of the picture before we, rigged this match up. Coming back down, Vince is crawling. Got him by the seat pants. God dang, there's big old Jim Dotson. Rest in peace. Jim died a couple of years ago. A good friend of mine, security guard, heavy metal head, a big right hand by me, laying that shit in out there in the crowd. Boom. Hey, and that's the way Vince liked it. That's one of the things I liked about Vince. If you didn't hit him hard enough, if it didn't look good, he was going to be pissed off at you. And the way we were working, I'm dragging him back through the crowd here. Michael Chioda, one of my favorite referees, doing a great job. He rakes my eyes, cut me off. Always got to lay your shit in with Vince. Because if you don't, if you kill an angle with him, you don't ever want to kill an angle with anybody, but specifically with the man. Okay, over he goes. Just lays there. He's coming up. Both of us just come ringside, brawling outside. Taking him on a little walk here. Throw him into the guardrail here on the entranceway. Just really putting in time here, getting ready to get back in the cage. Well, really get in the cage. Throw him up against the cage here. We're just killing a little bit of time working. There's no reason to get in a hurry. Okay, Vince is thinking about going up. He's scaling up the cage. Now I'm going to pull his ass down. Looking at the crowd, see what they want. They want me to pull his ass down and beat him up a little bit more. Big right hand. Could have kept the hand a little bit closed on that punch. Okay, Vince trying to climb up the cage again from the outside in. No, Vince, come back down. Got some more shit for you here. Throw him into the cage. A little discombobulated bump there. Vince goes down. Stone Cold on top. Time for the old gut stomp. Stomp Vince right in the gut. This is one of my favorite moves to do as a heel. I'm going to sit down and just take a little break. It's a little bit of showmanship there. It's just crowd stuff. Okay, I'm back on Vince, clubbing him from the back of the head. I'm going to go take another break. No, I'm going to pick up the chair. We haven't been doing anything but just brawling here. But, man, I'm breathing probably my heart beats probably 60 beats a minute. I'm in good shape here. Never looked like a bodybuilder. Wind reserves ain't even close to being blown up. And you can imagine, or if you can't imagine, brawling takes more out of you than you would think it does. Okay, here we go. We're on the side of the cage. Vince is kicking me in the gut, kicking him in the flank. I elbowed him in the gut. We're climbing up. Boom, good right hand, decent right hand. Climbing to the top here, going to the top of the cage. Slamming his head off the top of that cage, man. There's a big-ass announce table waiting down there for him to land. Now, here we go. Boom! Bam! Holy shit.
He may be dead! Mr. McMahon fell 20 feet! McMahon fell 20 feet off the steel cage through the Spanish announce table! Hey, look at Austin, he's smiling! Is he alive? Stone Cold bounced McMahon's head off the top of the steel cage! Is he alive? Boss fell 20 feet to the floor! Let's take a look at the double feature now! Oh my God! And referee Mike Chioda is calling for help. We need help, he's hurt bad!
All right, let me tell you something here. We go up there. We've never done this before. I don't know that Vince McMahon has ever taken this bump before. If he ever did it back in Stanford, then he did. I don't know that he did. I just know that he wanted to take the bump. And I'll never forget, before the match, I said, "Hey, man, are you sure you want to take that bump?" He goes, "Oh, goddamn, Steve, we got to." So I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk him out of it. I've already offered up and shown my concern. So if he wants to go for it, who am I to argue with the boss? Okay, I told you that mother sucker wouldn't make it a goddamn match. It's me talking trash inside that ring, trying to buy a little bit of time as they bring out this gurney. Here comes some medical personnel. The thing about this bump that was so devastating, Vince probably landed in about the worst place you could land as far as taking a bump like that onto a table, because he landed right there on the edge, and that's where the vertical support base goes down. So had he landed about a foot over, back towards the backside of that table, it would have been a much forgiving blow. The table would have just crushed, and it would have still been a devastating bump. But where he landed, there wasn't no give, and you could see his head and his neck whip down in a whiplash and you can see his head and his neck whip down in a whiplash like fashion. And it totally, I think it knocked him out for a second or two. It certainly dazed him, and he certainly saw stars. I do remember that. So he's out there, and he'll tell him, "Oh, don't touch me, don't hurt me." He's out there, he's really rung up. That was a hell of a bump, and I don't know how old Vince is at this point in this match. But an amazing bump, and I don't care how old you are. Okay, now, we've got an arena full of 19,000 people, so the match can't end like this. Vince is in bad shape. Let me go to the commentary team here. Here we go.
Austin smiling.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout.
Don't move me.
I just grabbed the microphone.
That's bullshit.
What?
When I came here, I said I made a few guarantees going into this match, which haven't happened yet. As far as I'm concerned, the match never really started because when the bell never rang and we was never in the ring at the same time, so he ain't gonna lose that easy.
I guess he's got a point, King, but... What?
Now, jackass, that's you in the black. Is the son of a bitch still breathing? Well, since he is still breathing, if you want me to finish this can of whoop ass, give me a hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Shit's on now. Got the BMF walk up those ropes. I use those ropes to give me extra spring action up that cage with a bunch of energy, lots of mustard. That was a BMF climb. They're wheeling Vince out. Watch me. I'm going to start grabbing. Okay. Jimmy Corderas, Timmy White, Dave Hebner, pulling everybody out of the way. Tony Gurria. You'd think he get pushed away. Now I'm pushing Vince back towards the cage in that gurney. Boom, he goes vertical, takes the crash landing. All right, everybody in Memphis knows there's about to be a Can-Am whoop-ass open right now. Great job by Cole and Lawler hitting him with that yellow board that they just brought him out on the stretcher. Come on, Vince. Come on up for me, Vince. Come on up for me, Vince. Okay, Kyoto's talking to us. Probably give us time cue. Jimmy Corderas in the background. Here in a minute, we'll fix to take this thing in the ring and finally actually ring the bell and start the match. Kyoto trying to get a sense of urgency. Get in the ring so I can start the match. So that's what we're going to do. Coming around now, after a hellacious bump by Vince, I just shoved his ass in the cage. Okay, I'm talking trash. Hey, we're fixing to get in the ring and start this bitch up. Memphis crowd goes crazy. Kyoto's finally closes the door. The match has officially started, and Vince just officially got a big-ass stiff clothesline in his neck brace. So I'm pulling his neck brace off here. All right, it's just time to just start stomping a mudhole. He's been beat to death. He's taken a hell of a bump. He's coming up slowly, just selling his ass off. Just a great job by selling by Vince. Okay, he wants to take a couple of these. Couple of forearms from the second turnbuckle. Wham! Drilled it. Wants one more. There'll be a little bit of an adjustment on the knee pads after the second landing, man. I tell you what, that's a hell of a jolt on the old knees. I used to do this without knee pads back in the old school days. Wham! Okay. Let's adjust the knee pads, make sure these sumbitches are covering the joints, the corners are supposed to cover. All right, I figure that's enough, man. Looks like I'm calling for the door. We got Austin chant.
Is going to walk his way to Philadelphia. Austin touches the floor. Look at this! Look at this! Mr. McMahon is flipping off the rattlesnake.
Mr. McMahon's flipping me off. I was about to go down the bottom stair and walk my way into Philadelphia to the main event, WrestleMania against The Rock. And Vince flipped me off. So I said, nah, you sorry son of a bitch. You ain't going to flip me off. I'm the guy that flips people off. I've got his ass in the corner. I'm stomping a mud hole in his ass and walking it dry. Double burrs, final kick. Trademark move that I invented in WrestleMania 13. I've never, ever done that before. I'd stomp people in the corner, but that signature stomp with the pickup and the cadence and the aggression, the pause, the double birds, and that final FU kick, that was one of the things that I was just doing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've been on top all this time. Vince just kicks me, gives me a nut shot, throws me into the cage. Kicks me in the balls, throws me into the cage. Vince McMahon is on his way out to try to win this match. He's going to WrestleMania. I'm still down. He's over on the top. He's going down. Vince, okay, here I come. No, you don't. You ain't going to WrestleMania. I am. Hit him in the nuts. Okay, you've got the owner of $1 billion corporation. I've got him straddled over his waistline, inside the cage, outside the cage. He's face down. I'm about to throw his ass. It's like a pile of trash. Got to be careful there. Nice bump by Vince. You know, for a guy who didn't grow up in a squared circle, you know, his dad never wanted him to be in the business of wrestling, especially as an in-ring performer, as we all know how that happened. You know, he bought the territory from his dad and ended up turning the business of wrestling into the landscape that it is. Okay, man, let's throw him in the cage. Listen, I promised blood. If you remember at the beginning of this match, I promised there will be blood. So there was an introduction into the cage. There I am over there buying some time, climbing to the top, just jacking with the crowd. Probably go up there and take a seat. Oh, do they want me to throw him out, I ask him. Oh, looks like Vince has indeed been busted open by getting swung into the steel cage by none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin, picking his ass up. Little conversation here. Keeping the head down, always protect your calls. Bam, back into the cage. Just needs a little bit more physical trauma to that injury to make it bleed more, to make it a little bit more pronounced. The job has been done, but every time you keep banging on that injury, it kind of helps that damn blood start flowing. Okay, Vince is in Shakespeare mode. Looks like Hamlet in a Shakespearean play. Let's go back to commentary.
Like a shark, smelling blood, climbing the ropes. No, Austin's going over the top rope. He's guaranteed. Blood would be shed. All his guarantees have been reached. If he touches the ground, he's going to WrestleMania. Stone Cold's guarantees have been met. And again, hatred. The double bird. Pure hatred driving Mr. McMahon. Oh, no. No, Austin, Steve, don't do it. Stone Cold, don't do it. Remember the Royal Rumble match. Remember the Rumble match, Steve.
All right, I was about to step out of the damn cage. I'd climbed all the way to the other side. I was about to step down, and Vince, in a pathetic, I mean, he can't believe it. He's been beaten to death. Gives me the double bird. I delivered on my promise. There will be blood, and it would not be mine. I busted Vince open. I'm going to go back to work on him again, but I'll be damned if I'm just going to walk my ass into WrestleMania, but let you flip me off in the process. So no, sir. The ass whooping will continue. I'm fixing to kick him in the head to knock his ass down off that turnbuckle. Yeah, a good little stomp to the forehead. Nice bump by Vince. Okay, now, here's the picture. Vince is a battered, bloodied mess. Been beating the hell out of him. All kinds of torture. I'm standing on his head right now. Boy, it's a goddamn good feeling when you can stand on your boss's head right there. He's taking an amazing bump. Story to be told. He's got an ace up his sleeve. People are waiting for the Stone Cold Stunner. They want that stunner. Here they come.
Austin now with a right hand, and McMahon down again. We're going out with it. Stone Cold has waited for this day. Austin's hatred rivals McMahon's king, but somehow the boss to his feet. Oh no! No! Stunner! Austin stunts McMahon!
All right, here we go here back in with this thing. I just gave Vince Stone Cold Stunner right there in the middle of the ring, waiting on Paul White to just cut himself out from underneath that ring. I've never seen, what that setup was down there below the ring where Paul White was. Did he have a monitor? Did he know when his cue was? Come on, here comes Paul White, his introduction. Oh, shit. There's the Giant. Here's the thing, watch these bumps I'm trying to take for him. like I was talking earlier about me throwing Vince McMahon around or vice versa. You got to wait for that guy to catch up with you. Paul White is so big and so strong. He's literally throwing me so fast, I can't take a proper bump. I wanted those bumps to be way bigger than that so I could really sell for him, bounce off that cage, and really sell for him and make him look even bigger and stronger than he already is. But he's throwing me so hard, I couldn't control the bump. Vince is talking trash. He's in my face. He's giving Big Show instructions. Just, hey, man, throw that sorry pile of shit Stone Cold Steve Austin into the steel cage. Really jack him up. Paul White picks me up. I'm a heavy 260 here, heavy 250. Throws me through the cage just like a shot put. That's how strong the Big Show is. The cage opens. It came off the hinge. I'm just hanging on the cage because Paul White threw me on the cage. I just won the match. Hey, let's go back 20 seconds.
WWF champion! Oh no! Mr. McMahon's master plan has backfired! For Mr. McMahon, Stone Cold is going to...
All right, tell you what happens was Vince McMahon's game plan totally backfires on him. Big Show picks my sorry ass up, throws me so hard, the steel cage comes off a hinge, it swings open. Hell, there's gravity. There's the ground. Hell, I drop off, let go. I'm the first one to get outside of that steel cage. I could have left sooner, but Vince kept enticing me and baiting me back by flipping me off, so I never left the ring because I wasn't going to win that way without delivering on what I guaranteed I was going to deliver. Then finally going back, hitting his ass with the Stone Cold Stunner. Here comes Paul White. Goddamn, what an impressive, big, badass son of a bitch he was back in the day. Boy, I'm talking shit here. I was giving Big Show the bird there at the 250-39 mark. Vince just looks like beaten, battered, can't believe his plan backfired on him. My sorry ass Stone Cold Steve Austin, as he sees it, is going to WrestleMania for a shot at the championship. Well, I got the championship, never mind. There's Paul White in there. And, boy, I tell you what, the explosion that happened, the pop that happened when that crowd realized that I had won the match was off the charts. All right, man, I tell you what, there was, I didn't know how that cage was going to work. They're showing a replay here. We're still going. Kyoto comes down and raised my hand up. Look at that look of disbelief on my face. I don't know what I should have wound my watch. I recognize that I won, but I realize how fortunate I am to have won because, hell, who would have expected that to happen? Paul White trying to gather up Vince McMahon. Let's call him Mr. McMahon here. He's beaten up. Copyright 1999, a Titan Sports production, all rights reserved. Coming on the screen, end credits, as Paul White goes to pick up Vince McMahon. I'll tell you what, let me shut my computer down for a second. I hope that breakdown of that match, and sometimes I'll kick it back into the commentary supplied by the commentators, Jerry the King Lawler, Michael Cole, didn't blare your ears out. I turned the recorder volume up so that when I played that, you could actually hear the commentary. So this isn't a scientific podcast. It's never going to be an NPR podcast. That's never what it was intended to be. But nonetheless, that was a real fun night at the office. You know, when you're involved in those angles where all the chips are on the line, and like I've said this in podcasts before, and doing business like Bret the Hitman Hart in WrestleMania 13, you know, to be able to execute that double turn, you know, all of your big money is riding on every single angle on that card, but obviously the angle's on the top. That's the icing on the cake. That's the top spot. So you got to be able to crush it damn near every single time you go out. Well, let's take damn near out of it. You have to crush it every single time you go out because the company's put its trust in you. Looking back at this match, great storyline, great build-up, great packages. I'm going to recommend that you watch this at the end of the podcast. This was St. Valentine's Day Massacre from 1999, February 14th in Memphis, Tennessee. And it was just a great time right then in the business when you could go out there and make a promise or guarantee that you were going to see blood, and it wasn't going to be mine, but you could guarantee blood. Boy, that was a great feeling. You know, when you bust out, things like that you could do back in the day, it was just a lot of fun. And damn near, that match is damn near 20 years old, 19, give or take. But what a fun day at the office. And it's funny because working with Vince, you know, when he was working in a match, I don't think he really ever knew. I don't think he had an appreciation of how good and how effective he was as an adversary or an opponent. And, he needed that feedback. And I tell you what, man, this wasn't a cage match with a bunch of crazy bumps, a bunch of high-flying stuff. The only spectacular bump in the whole match was Vince's bump that he took onto that announce table. Hell, I didn't. Basically, all I did was go out there, deliver an ass whooping, work the crowd a little bit. That's all we needed to do, though. They didn't expect to see an athletic extravaganza from Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. We set the table for them to see a fight or a match, and, with all the shenanigans, all the delays, all the stalling tactics by Vince. And as far as cage matches that were way more crazy or way more athletic, there's been a bunch of them. But this one told the story that we were involved in. And we didn't even have to do anything crazy. And Vince didn't even have to take that bump, quite frankly, although, that bump off that cage was magnificent, spectacular, very brave on his part, and really added a bunch to the match. The thing about working with Vince, man, and everybody from, I guess the last time I saw him do something like this was the headbutt delivered by KO to Vince on a Monday Night Raw a couple of months ago. Man, Vince is a badass. If he goes out there, and he wants to give his all. And also, just from a promoter standpoint, he wants you as a talent, from going back in the Attitude Era my day to the guys and gals in the ring this day. Man, he wants you guys and gals to go out there and give it your all, man. He's setting the stage for you. It's showbiz, man. It's a wrestling business. You can call it sports entertainment, you can call it sports entertainment. But the thing about Vince is, I don't know if enough people know him well enough to understand how he's wired. Man, he will, like I've said in past podcasts, he will do absolutely anything and everything to make an angle get over to the highest degree that it can. And so that as performers, whether you know Vince or don't know Vince, go out there and don't pretend to be a wrestler. Don't act to be a wrestler. I'm saying this to the guys and gals in the ring all over the world. Friggin' be a wrestler. If you turn you up to 11 or 12 or whatever your character is, believe in it. Don't act like a wrestler. The thing I liked about Vince, the thing I loved about Vince, some of the high-level guys that I got a chance to work with, there was no pretend. You are living and breathing and dying in that business. No, dying, I don't mean to go too crazy on you, but it's just, I get excited. I had a WWE superstar call me the other day, or I called them. I can't remember. We started talking about the business. And hell, I was blowing up after talking to him because I just enjoy talking about the wrestling business. Again, let me stop rambling around. I'll bring this thing home when I close the podcast. I just wanted to go over this match just because I think Joey Diaz is finally coming by the crib here in a couple of days. I'm talking to Lisa Moretti, a.k.a. Ivory, a.k.a. Tina Ferrari, in a couple of days. I'm talking to Dr. D. David Schultz in a couple of days after I read his book. So I'm looking forward to talking to these guests that I've got coming up. So I hope you enjoyed this show. I had a good time talking about it, and I had a good time doing this match back in the day. I'm very appreciative of the fans in attendance that night. It was a great building, good acoustics, highly responsive crowd, and a built angle. And, man, once again, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler did an outstanding job of, explaining the hatred that Vince McMahon had for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And god dang, by the same token, the hatred that I had for that son of a bitch. So just great storytelling, because when you're out there working, the live crowd is a live crowd, and they don't hear that feed. But when you're at home and you're watching, that commentary means so much to that match. And that's, these guys did a great job, as JR always did. I mean, he's the narration. He's the soundtrack of everything that you're seeing. And that night, Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole crushed it and knocked it out of the park. Great response. Anyway, I'm coming right back. We'll close up his podcast. Callie, my black lab, has come over here, and she is being a pain in the ass. She wants me to throw the tennis ball for her. All right, now she's laying on her back, kicking her legs up. Coming right back.
Hey, this is Jordan Harbinger. I used to host the Art of Charm podcast, but now it's time for something new. The Jordan Harbinger Show. Did you know you can be entertained and actually get a boost in your life at the same time? On this show, we dig into the superpowers of the world's most interesting thinkers and top talents. Then we deliver them to you right into your ears. But I get it. We're not all superheroes. That's why we give you their blueprint so you can live what you listen. After 1,000 interviews, learning 5 languages, and getting arrested in a country that doesn't even exist anymore, I'm now more ready than ever to introduce you to The Jordan Harbinger Show. Listen free to The Jordan Harbinger Show. Available on Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne.com, and the Podcast One app.
All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. It's time to wrap up his podcast and ride off in the sunset. Before I do that, I'm going to give you something to watch. It's a match I just got finished talking about. If you've seen it before, you heard me just go through it. Maybe you followed along, maybe you didn't. It's a match off a hell of a pay-per-view card, and a match that I really enjoyed, and a great part of the storyline that would lead to me to headlining 3 WrestleManias with the great one, The Rock, 15, 17, and 19. And then I rode off into the sunset. This was leading to the start of that trilogy, which I'm very proud of. So check out St. Valentine's Day Massacre from February 14th, 1999 on the WWE Network. And that's the bottom line. It's a badass match and a badass pay-per-view for that matter. And before I get off that pay-per-view, I wanted to talk about Goldust's entrance on that pay-per-view. When I first went to the WWF way back in the day, I was riding with Goldust. You watch that entrance he makes. Just a great entrance. And I love the way they put the film aspect, or however they film that entrance. But that Goldust character, man, I could do a whole podcast on that, and I like to talk to Dustin as well anyway. But, man, you got to understand, because I was driving down the road with that guy when I first came into WWF, and me and Dustin knew each other from our WCW days and our USWA days as well. But, man, what a gimmick, what a worker, just what a character. And then they just chopped it up. Chopped his legs off, and he's still working his Goldust, don't get me wrong, and he's still doing a great high-level job of working the ring. But when they were giving that gimmick a push back in the day, holy smokes, did it have some friggin' heat. It was awesome. So anyway, check out that match. Anyway, let me go ahead and get some plugs in here. ProWrestlingTees.com/Steve Austin has all of my shirts from the Broken Skull Ranch. Best damn IPA on the planet. In my opinion, Broken Skull IPA from El Segundo Brewing Company. You can get it at Whole Foods and Total Wines if you live in Cali. If you don't live here, check out InsideTheCellar.com and see if they ship to your state. And if you're looking for a badass pocket knife, which I highly recommend everybody carry, check out the Cold Steel Broken Skull knife or the new Working Man knife and get them at my new Amazon store. Amazon has the best price on both knives. Just go to Amazon.com/shop/Steve Austin. And before I check out, I want to say one more time, thank you to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show. That's how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free, and you can find all my sponsors at PodcastOne.com. Just click on the Killer Deals button at the top of the page, and then click on the Steve Austin Show banner. And speaking of Podcast One, the new Podcast One app is now available for download at the App Store or Google Play. Ain't another podcast app like this one out there anywhere, and that's because the new Podcast One app is loaded with some cool-ass features that let you do a lot more than just listen to your favorite shows. You can access behind-the-scenes photos, articles, connect with other fans of the shows you like, watch over 1,000 360 virtual reality videos. You can actually watch some of your favorite shows in virtual reality. It's like you're sitting right there in the same room with them. So get to the App Store or Google Play and download the new Podcast One app now. Folks, if you want to follow me on social media, you can. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Steve Austin, BSR. Folks, until next time, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
This has been a Podcast One production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.